This video explains how to connect face forensics, or F2, to an existing database, and then enroll all the faces in it to produce an F2 matching service. To do this, from the F2 main screen, we select Connections, and then click on Admin View to open up the connection details. The connection screen has four main areas. Beginning at the top of the screen and moving down, we have the matching service, which indicates the computer name of any network machine running an F2 matching service. This could be the local computer or any machine on the network that has SF2 installed. Typically, one machine is selected to run the central matching service, while all other machines connect to it. Secondly, there's the list of enrollment databases. Once connected to a matching service, we can see the list of enrollment databases found within that service. Each enrollment database defines a connection to a database containing faces. For example, the SA Face Enrollment database defines a connection to the small Microsoft Access database that comes bundled with F2 for demonstration purposes. Once established, your database connection will also be listed here. Thirdly, the Enrollment DB Config section defines the location and characteristics of new face databases to be added. The bottom section covers the person table attachment and the image table attachment sections. These describe the location of the specific fields in the database, such as name, facial image, etc., that F2 needs to access. Let's start with describing the matching service that we want to connect to. In this example, the matching service is running locally and the local machine name is already selected and connected. Just click Connect if you wish to re-establish the connection. If the central matching service is running on another machine, click Edit List to enter the computer name and port number, then hit Connect. You should note that the central matching service should always have the Face Forensics Enrollment folder shared out to F2 administrators. To establish a connection to a database, click New DB on the line below. You should then enter the name that you want to call this enrollment database. We'll call it RSD2 here. Below this, we specify the type of database system it is: Microsoft Access, SQL Server, Oracle, or DB2. I'm going to keep it simple, so I'll use an Access database. To the right, in DB Source, we can define the location of this. To simplify this, there's a Browse button, and the database we're going to pick up is called DB Faces. Other details, such as DB Owner and DB Server, will differ slightly depending on the type of database selected, but to someone familiar with the database schema, it should be self-explanatory. Note that only a read-only username and password is required, thereby ensuring the data integrity of your database. If you wish to allow F2 to add new images to the database, then use a username and password having write permission. When this section is completed, click Get Table Names. A message will appear confirming that this has been successful, and the pull-down lists in the lower section describing the individual fields will now be populated with possible fields in the database. Before selecting these, you should indicate whether the person and image IDs are automatically incremented in the selected database, and also whether composite keys are used. The left-hand column, the Person table, enables the names of the fields describing the individual to be selected from the populated list. These fields include the name of the table itself, the individual's ID, their first and last name, and their sex. For this demo, the entries are simple. I'll put them in now. Note that under sex, a selection has to be made from the gender pull-down, and then the Browse button should be used to define the individual settings. In this case, male is 1 and female is 2. This process should then be repeated to define the name of the face image field in the image table. This assumes that the image is held within the database as a binary object. If it's held in an external file, then click the box at the right and the area below will become available to enter details. Browse for the location of the root image folder and then select whether to use the primary key or the image name. Now we'll enter the image table fields. Again, these are a simple example. When the required field locations have been defined, click the Save button. The new enrollment database will now appear in the pull-down list. You can now switch to this by clicking Switch. Once you've done this, you're in a position to automatically enroll all the faces in the database. So in the enrollment window now, you can see all the faces that have been connected, confirming that all the connection details are correct. Click Enroll All, and F2 will ask whether you want to start from this image. We will do that. F2 will now encode each face in the database and save the resulting encode arrays with their associated record IDs as a new matching service. If you wish, you can stop the enrollment process at any time, note the record ID of the last face enrolled, and continue from the next record ID later. Note that depending on the size of the database, the enrollment process can take some time, so you may wish to initiate it when the computer is not otherwise required. As a guideline, a single core PC will enroll 2 to 3 faces per second, while multi-core machines will be significantly faster. However, you can continue to use the computer if you wish during the enrollment process. One other function on the Connections screen needs to be explained at this time. If you already have an application acting as the main entry point for new images, it's necessary for F2 to find them, enroll them, and update the matching service. This is done using the Sync Mode button. When this is clicked, the F2 sync routine will read the record ID of every record in the database and make sure that there is a corresponding record in the matching service. Where there isn't, it will enroll the face and add the resulting encode array and its record ID to the enrollment database. The sync routine can be set to run at a fixed interval, the default being every 5 minutes. On a multi-core machine, this process can run in a separate core and have no effect at all on overall machine performance. That's how to connect face forensics to an existing database and keep it updated. You are now ready to match faces against those in the database.